take the plunge and try painting with oil paint. The first time, well, the first and only time I've used oils was in grade 8, which was around 5 years ago. So it's been a long time since I've tried them. And the reason for that is that oil painting seems like so much more of a commitment compared to acrylic, which is what I usually use. Because with acrylic, you can just use, well, you just need the paint and water. But with oils, you need so many more things, and honestly, I was kind of intimidated, but I really wanted to try them again for the longest time. And since it's the summer, I thought, why not? I have the time now, so I could just try them out. And if I like them, I'm definitely going to use them for my live painting class next semester. Last year I used acrylics for my painting class, and oh my gosh, it was so annoying. I really don't like acrylics, but those are like the only paints that I actually know how to use and have experience with, so that's what I was using the entire year. But I'm a digital painter. That's like my main medium, so when I choose colors, it's so much faster to choose them on like Procreate, since there's like a circle that has all the colors on it and like you can just choose it. But with actual painting, you need to mix everything yourself, so I'm pretty slow at that, which doesn't pair well with the drying time of acrylic, which is really fast. So as soon as I mix the perfect color, within 60 seconds it's dry. So that was really annoying. And since oil paint has a way longer drying time, I'm hoping that it will solve my little issue of having the paint dry out before I can actually use it. So I did some research on what I would need for oil painting, and I feel calmer now and less intimidated than before because it's not as much stuff as I expected. So I made a little list of things I'm going to be needing, and now I'm just going to head downtown to the art store to pick it up. Okay, so I'm back home now, and I'll just do a little haul of what I ended up getting. So for the paint, well, I spoke to one of the workers at the art store, and she recommended the brand Gamblin. And so I got some of those paints in the big tubes. If you don't know and are new to oil paint, like I am, there are two different, I guess, levels or grades to paint. There's the student grade and the artist or professional grade. For the student grade, it's cheaper, and that's because there's less pigment in it compared to the artist grade, which is more expensive, but you're getting more pigment in it, so it's more vibrant. But since there are some colors that I wanted to get the big tubes of, I didn't really want to pay $30 for a tube, especially since I'm just starting out with oil paint. So I went with the student grade for the big tubes of color. For colors that I don't use that often, I ended up going with the Winsor & Newton artist grade, which was not as pricey as I expected. It was like $12 per tube. You get like 37 milliliters compared to like the 150 milliliters of the Gamblin one. So that was for the paints. I also ended up getting linseed oil for the oil medium. I think linseed is the type of oil that dries the fastest compared to all the other types of oils you can use, with poppy oil being the slowest drying one. So I didn't really want it to be too slow because I don't have that much room in my house to let things dry, so I don't know. I just thought it'd be a bit inconvenient. I also bought this other medium called an alkyd medium, but there's also another name for it, liquid, which speeds up the drying time of the paint and also thins it. So I guess it kind of acts like a solvent, which also thins the paint, but solvents are more toxic and you need better ventilation than my house has in order to use them. So I ended up going with an alkyd medium instead. I also had to buy a whole new set of brushes because I didn't really want to use my acrylic ones for oil paint in case they ruined them, because the oil can leave like residue if you don't clean them properly. So I just didn't want that to contaminate my other, I guess, acrylic paintings. I didn't really know which brushes to choose, so I just grabbed a whole range of them. I tried to mirror the ones that I use for acrylic, but we'll see if I like these brushes when I try them out. I chose the hog hair brushes because they're stiffer than synthetic or natural hair, and the girl at the store recommended them to me as well. I also picked up a cleaning kit for brushes. It's basically just soap, because I remember using the same brand the first time that I used oils 5 years ago. So yeah, that's about everything I got. Now it's time to try it out. So for my first painting, I wanted to start with something simple, just to get a feel for the medium, and also I tend to get pretty frustrated with traditional media more easily than digital because, as I said before, I'm not very good at mixing colors, so I didn't want to do anything too complicated for my first painting. For my underpainting, I used raw umber mixed with some liquid. I usually use burnt sienna as my underpainting color, but I saw someone using raw umber for their oil painting and I thought it looked pretty nice, so I thought I'd try it out. I was pretty surprised with how wet the paint became once I mixed it with the liquid. I don't know why I was surprised. The whole point of the liquid medium is to make the paint more, to thin the paint out. But yeah, I found that it was really easy to sketch with the paint. When I was mixing the colors for the skin tone, for some reason I couldn't get it as light as I wanted it to be. On the palette, it would seem really light, but then as soon as I applied it to the canvas, it looked so dark, and I don't know why. I think it might have been because I didn't cover the white of the paper with the raw umber color. I left some of the white there, and in comparison to the color that I mixed, of course it would look a lot darker than the white of the paper. But yeah, it was just really frustrating since I wasn't sure if I was just not mixing the colors properly or if it was because of the paper. So this is the result of the painting, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think the colors look a lot more alive and natural compared to my acrylic paintings. So yeah, I'm happy about it. So for the second painting, I decided to do a portrait because I was feeling pretty confident and more comfortable with my oil painting skills. Of course, I chose the amazing Jeremy Brett as my model / reference. If you watched my previous video, then you'll know that I am currently loving him as Sherlock. He is my new obsession. But he also has an amazing bone structure in his face that I just had to paint. So here we are. So this is how the painting turned out. I was kind of worried that the colors would be too chalky, but I think it actually looks pretty good. I think there could be some room for improvement on the tones of the skin, but I think it's pretty good for my second oil painting. So overall, I would say that I really enjoyed using the oils and will definitely be using them again for other pieces. I really enjoyed how they blended really well with each other on the canvas. That's definitely something that you don't get from acrylics unless you act really fast and all the paints are still wet, which is very rare in my case because I take a really long time to mix paint. So yeah, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching me try out oils, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!